bookish people, it's Brittany, and today I am doing the Epic Reads book tag. This tag was created by the two girls who run the Epic Reads blog. I will link their original videos down below. The first question is, if you could invite your favorite author and one of their fictional characters to tea, who would it be and what would you serve them? For me, this was so easy to decide. I knew instantly who I was going to pick. That is Laini Taylor and Carew from Daughter of Smoke and Bone. I, have gushed about Laini Taylor on way too many of my videos. I'm sorry if you guys are tired of hearing about Laini Taylor. I just love her so much. And I love her books and I love her writing. And I would love to have tea with her. And Carew. Carew is all-time one of my favorite characters. I love her so much. Sometimes I will catch myself thinking, what would Carew do? Or, I wonder what Carew's doing. Or, you know, remember that one time Carew did this? Yeah, no, it's seriously really bad. I just think about Carew a lot. And asked what I would serve them, I would serve French pastries and tea. In this book, Carew goes to a tea house, so I know she likes tea. I don't know if Laini Taylor likes tea, so maybe I would have coffee, but definitely French pastries. And who doesn't love French pastries? They are so delectable and delicious. I think that would be the best tea ever. Laini Taylor, Carew, and I just hanging out, having tea, eating French pastries. The second question is, what book do you wish the author would write a prequel for? And I chose two books for this because you guys know that I am so bad at choosing just one. So I chose two. And the first one is the Throne of Glass series by Sarah J. Maas. I would love to learn more about Maeve, the Fae, the Vogue, Aelin's dad and mom, and those adventures, and the oh my gosh. I'm blanking on their names, but the king and queen who fought in the first Vogue War. I would love to learn about the Vogue War at that time. We get snippets of all of these little things, but I think it's not enough. I really just want to delve deeper into this world and further into this world's history. And the other one is, I did it again, the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. I want to learn more about the Chimera and what their world was like before the war. And I want to learn more about the Seraphim and what their life was like before they went to different planets and their war. And I want to learn more about this world as well. Well, there's multiple worlds in this one. I want to learn about all the worlds, and I know in Dreams of Gods and Monsters that you learn a little bit more about the Seraphim's back history, but I would love to have a whole book about it and the Chimera, and I just think that would be super fantastic, amazing. I just love this world so much. I really do. The third question is, which two characters, not from the same book, do you think would make a good couple? This one took me a little bit of time to figure out. I was staring at my shelves trying to figure out who would make a good couple. So bad at figuring out couples from different books if they would go together. I just I don't know, I'm really bad at it. But I picked these two. We have Laszlo from Strange the Dreamer and Cress from the Lunar Chronicles. I feel like this would be a really good pairing. One, because Laszlo is just the sweetest, the kindest person that you could meet. And he's also a dreamer. Really? It's called Strange the Dreamer, and he's a dreamer. He likes to read, and he loves adventures, and he's a deep thinker, and I think he would go well with Cress, who is also very sweet. She's a little naive, and I think that Laszlo would be able to tell her, stories. I just think that they would be a really great balance for each other, and Cress also reminds me a lot of Sarai. I feel like I'm saying that name wrong. Soraya? Is it Soraya? Cress reminds me a lot of Soraya. I still feel like I'm saying it wrong. I don't know. But I just think that these two would go well together. Tell me what you guys think about this pairing down in the comments, or who you would pick from two different books to be your pairing. I want to know. I'm so bad at this. I feel like these two would go well together. Question 4 is, if you ran into your favorite author on the subway and you could only say one sentence to them, who would it be and what would you say? I cheated. I'm sorry. I picked 2. And for one of them, I did pick 2 sentences because there is no way I could ever just say like one sentence to this person. The first one is, of course, Laini Taylor. Not that I imagine ever meeting Laini Taylor on the subway, but if I did, oh my gosh, I would go up to her and tell her that her books are amazing and magical and that they have made such an impact on my life, and I would just thank her profusely for telling these stories because this world is so much better for having them in them. Yes, I cheated. I just could not say one sentence to Laini Taylor. Sorry. The second one is Neil Gaiman, and I would ask him how the heck he works on so many projects at once. Like, he just like churns out projects all the time, and it's crazy to me, and I would just want to know how he does it. These 2 authors are amazing and deserve all the love and praise that they get. Question number 5 is, what book made you be a reader and why? I have answered this one before, so I went a little further back into my childhood and found a book that was one of the first few books that I read, and I definitely read it with my dad, and we have such fond memories of these books. They're our favorite, and it's the Clifford series. Love Clifford. Would read the Clifford books at night. We would watch the Clifford like TV shows, Clifford everything. I think I used to have a Clifford. I always dreamed about having a big red dog, and that is probably why I love really, really big dogs. Like, Berlin is little, but she's pretty big, but she's little for the dogs I want. I want a St. Bernard, which they can get up to 250 pounds. I want a Bernese Mountain Dog. I love really, really big dogs, and it's probably because I read Clifford when I was little. Fell in love with him. But of course, the other book series is Daughters of the Moon. I read all 13 of these books. I think they were the first series that I ever picked up and like had to read all the books. And when I got the final book, I could not put it down. I read it all night long and stayed up way too late. But they were just such a great introduction to fantasy and to characters that I loved and to what reading could do for me. And so those 2 books are what got me into reading. This next question, I, overthought a lot. I'm still overthinking this question. So I'm going to have multiple answers for you based on like all of the thoughts that I have. So let me tell you the question and then I will answer for you. So the 6th question is, your bookshelf's caught on fire and you can only save one book. What would it be? Logic-based reasoning in my brain is telling me like books are replaceable. And that is true for the most part. I know that there are a lot of fond memories with a lot of the books that I've read. But like the physical copies of the books, they are replaceable. And a lot of these books I have gotten at half-price books or at like thrift stores and like places like that. And I could realistically replace my library. Would I be completely sad about this? Yes. But if, it was like my books, if like the whole house was on fire and I could only save a few other things and I couldn't get to my books, then, I'd be very sad and I would just go about replacing my books. But also, one book on here that is irreplaceable for me is A Christmas Treasury. I don't know who ate this. I don't know which one of my dogs ate this. I don't know. But this book was gifted to me and signed by my 2nd grade teacher from way back in 2000. So I will never part with this book. I will never get rid of it. And if I can only save one book for myself, it would be this one. If our whole house was on fire and I was in charge of saving the books, I would actually save Ross's 10th anniversary edition of Name of the Wind or his leather-bound copy of Mistborn if he lost that one. I would probably save those 2 for him. If like he was getting everything else in the house, like all the electronics and our dog and the valuables and all that stuff, I would save those 2 books for him. Those are like his absolute favorite things. If it was just my bookshelves, yes, I would save A Christmas Treasury. If it's after October when I meet Laini Taylor, then yes, I would save The Daughter of Smoke and Bone and Strange the Dreamer that I am hopefully going to have her sign. So yes, I'm telling you, like, this was way overthought and I've got like multiple answers for this, but I hope that our house never catches fire, or that like my bookshelves never catch fire by themselves. That would just be really weird if just my bookshelves caught fire. But so those are my answers. Those are the books that I would save. I would be sad to lose all my books. Just absolutely crushed. So let's hope that our house doesn't catch fire. No one's house catches fire. Let's hope. The 7th question is, which dystopian world would you live in if you could choose one, and why? Why anyone would choose willingly to live in a dystopian world, I do not know. Those worlds are very, very messed up. They just have so many problems. So if I could really choose, I wouldn't live in one. But if I really, really had to choose, I would choose either the selection world. Yes, I know that there is a caste system and there's this like whole bachelor thing going on and there's a rebellion, but all that aside, it doesn't really seem like a horrible place to live. If you've read all 5 of the books, then you know that things change in this world, and so by the end of the 5th book, it seems like a pretty great place to live, possibly. And the other one, which I personally wouldn't really consider a dystopian, but I was looking online because apparently I just don't read dystopians. I read like the first 2 books of the Divergent trilogy. I've read Selection, and I'm currently reading The Darkest Minds, but that's about it. So I don't have a lot of dystopians, but I wouldn't consider this one a dystopian, but other people have considered it a dystopian, and so this one is The Lunar Chronicles. And this one also doesn't seem like such a horrible place to live. I would not mind living in this world. So if we're going to consider this one a dystopian, I would pick this world. So either the Selection or the Lunar Chronicles world. Question 8 is, what is your most epic reads of all time? And for me, I don't think that's happened yet. I don't think my most epic read has happened yet, and I definitely, when I think epic fantasies, and I am soon going to pick up some of Sanderson's work, and eventually I will pick up The Name of the Wind, and I think that those are going to trump everything when it comes to like epic fantasy reads, and so I don't think my most epic read has come yet. But if we're talking about books I have read so far, my most epic read has to be the Throne of Glass series. Because when I think epic fantasy. This has just such a wonderfully created world with rich backstory and rich characters and plot, and it's just got so many twists and turns that this one has to be the most epic I've read so far. Question 9 is to tag people, but I don't know who has done and who hasn't done this tag yet. So if you haven't done this tag, go ahead, do it. You are tagged. Tag. I tag all of you. Do this. And if you've already done this tag, why not do it again and update your answers? And the 10th question is, do a book shimmy. So here we go. Shimmy. Alright, that's the end of this tag, and that is all for me. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of the bookish content that I put out. I will see you guys next time. Bye!